Alright guys, this is a new video series I'm starting on a low miles, right around 68,000 miles, 1982 300D, and it has the very rare blue interior, and it is perfect condition. There's no cracks, rips, tears. The car is gray with a blue interior, and it's absolutely beautiful. Now I forgot to do a walk around video showing the car before I started this series, so I'm just going to splice in some still shots of the car, but you'll see me start my inspection and start doing some minor refurbishment and restoration on it. So stay tuned and you'll see this complete series. This is a really nice car. See ya. Alright, today I'm actually at the paint shop because I'm doing some paint work on this car. This is an 82 300D, but I'm going ahead and starting the inspection process while the car is parked in front of the bay at the paint booth. And I'm just going through looking at the suspension so I can plan what I need to do. And suspension looks great down here, and also it has some nice brand new calipers that have been powder coated. So that's very nice. Has a new set of calipers, and tie rods look good. But what I did notice right here, this bushing on the lower control arm is rotted. So I definitely am gonna pull out the spring in the lower control arm and replace this bushing. Actually, you know, both of these bushings. And I might have to do it. I'll probably do it on both sides. Let me see. The suspension looks good, but okay, actually the bushing is fine over here. So I don't know, for some reason that one bushing must have gotten caught up or twisted. There we go, you can see right there. So definitely want to replace that bushing on the driver's side. Okay, I'm on the driver's side over here, and the upper control arm boot is actually fantastic. So is there's the sway bar, and the bushings on the sway bar are fantastic. But I do see there's bushing rot on the upper control arm. So, which I don't see that often on low mileage cars, but some of them have it. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the upper control arms, and I'll just do the front suspension on this car. Yeah, I just want to rebuild the front suspension on this car. So when I get it back from paint, I'll go ahead and disassemble this and rebuild the front suspension. All right, here we are on the 82 300D, and I'm looking at the rear suspension, and I can see the axle boots are in fantastic condition. The rubber is still good. It has nice powder coated rear calipers. The calipers were replaced by the original owner, and it has brand new brake lines back here. And there are no leaks from the rear diff, so it looks fantastic back here. This looks great. I don't need to replace anything back here. Of course I'll do a service and change all the fluids, but that looks great. The exhaust looks great. It's got some newer style exhaust hangers on there, and they're not torn up, so that's really good. Looks fantastic. I really like that they powder coated those calipers to keep them from rusting. That's a nice touch. All right, I'm just looking around here on the top of the engine. And keep in mind, I haven't detailed this engine. This is exactly how we got it. And the fuel filter, somebody's replaced that. It's clear as can be. They've also already replaced the main fuel filter, and the primer pump has been replaced. You can see there's the Bosch primer pump that I usually install in the car, so that's great. It's got fresh brake fluid in it, and this is the vacuum hose right here that runs up to the vacuum pump. The vacuum pump's on the front of the engine, right there. Let's see. Yep, there's the vacuum pump. And this is there's the sticker. So this has been replaced. That's fantastic. So someone was really taking care of this car. The bushings on the air filter housing have already been replaced, and that is a brand new battery. So cool. So this car is kind of the opposite of the ivory white car. On the ivory white car, I replaced a lot of stuff up here, but the suspension was perfect. On this car, it looks like somebody else has already taken care of the stuff up here, but the suspension, I need to change the suspension bushings down below. And hood pad is in fantastic condition. Anyway, so y'all will see me doing all this. Just this is just the initial inspection. Okay, I'm just going around inspecting all the doors, and you see in you saw in my last several videos on the cars I've done, I've had to replace these little rubber bushings or rubber pieces right here so the doors shut correctly, and that has already been done on this car. The rubber, I actually went around and checked all the doors, and the rubber is good. Next thing I'm going to do, I've got the door panels off, and I noticed you can see the door panels off over there, and I noticed the vacuum locks were a little bit slow. When you press the lock, they move a little slow rather than going down quickly. And what that is, 90% of the time, and you see I've got the over in that door, I taped back up the plastic because I had it peeled back. I'm going to glue the plastic back on there like it was from the factory. But I was inspecting the actuator, and this car, or this side, I haven't peeled it off yet, but if I peel it off a little, this is great. This has never been opened up because it's still got the factory glue on there. And I will glue these back exactly how they are, but there we go, right underneath here. Let me peel this one off here. Okay, right underneath here, this is the master vacuum switch. And these are notorious for leaking. Well, some cars, they last 200,000 miles. Some cars, they're leaking at 50,000 miles. So this car has one of the ones I'm pretty sure this is leaking. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, and I've ordered a new OEM replacement made by VDO. And I'm going to put that in here, and we'll see if that makes the locks start moving faster. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. All right, guys, here is the replacement master vacuum. They call it vacuum element. There's the part number, 248049004-001C. This is from, I think I got this from Auto House. There you go. That's and it's VDO. So to get this one out of here, it's pretty simple. Just take out your little screws here. I'm going to peel back the plastic a little more, and you see this little clip here. Sometimes it helps to pull that mechanism out. There we go. All right, guys, so you can see I just removed the bracket, and I pushed the little vacuum switch down through the hole here. I can get easier access to pull the lines off, and I marked them. Oops, I don't know why that's not focusing. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. So let's go ahead and pull those guys off and put our new switch on there. Sometimes he's been on here for 40 years, so sometimes they're tricky to get off of here. There we go. 3, and notice 3 is the one that's far away from the plunger here. There we go. So we got 1, 2, and 3. I can already see a difference. See how this kind of moves back and forth, and our new piece it's got resistance. There's little seals in here that wear out. One, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and push those all the way up there. Perfect. Now you see this little arm right here. There we go. See how we get the little arm hooked in there? That little arm is what, when the vacuum pulls this actuator, it pulls that lever and unlocks and locks the door. And we just got to snap this piece back on. Let's get one started there. There we go. That's back in there. So now we'll fire up the engine and we'll try our door locks. And if that doesn't resolve the issue, we'll just move down the chain and keep troubleshooting till we find where the small leak is. Okay, we're in the car. I'm going to reach over here and lock this, and we're going to watch our lock here. All right, I just pressed it. Boom. Very nice. All right, I just pulled it up, and there they go. They both unlocked successfully. And let's lock it one more time. I just pressed it. There we go. The leak in the vacuum system has been resolved. Now that we have the master vacuum switch replaced, other issue I noticed, let me crank up the car. See the reserve light or the low fuel light is constantly lit, and that is a sign that one of the wires in the fuel sending unit is broken. So I've ordered a replacement fuel sending unit from Mercedes. Let's get this thing opened up. All right. Oh, yeah. There we go. Did you see the size of that donut? All right, so this is a brand new fuel sending unit. And you notice you don't hear the bobber moving. Well, when Mercedes ships these, they put a little pin through here, and they say remove safety pin before installation. So you actually gotta peel these stickers off, and there you go. There's a little safety pin right there, and you pull out the safety pin. That was locking the bobber in place. And then, see, now you can hear the bobber moving up and down. And this is a brand new piece from Mercedes. So let me get that sticker peeled off, and we're going to remove the old fuel sender and put this brand new one in. All right, guys, so I took the first aid kit out, and remember to get this first aid box out, there's a screw there and a screw there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this box out, and we'll get this old fuel sender out of here. All right, so now I'm going to take out this. I've just got it through the back window. There's a horrible sun glare, but you guys can get the general idea. Got the screws out. If you notice how I did that, you lift it up from the front and you pull it towards the front of the car, because when you install it, you put the back in first and then push the front down. And of course, there's our fuel sender right there, and we're going to go ahead and take that out. All right, like I said, the sun's glaring, so it's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to go ahead and remove that fuel sender, and you guys can see through the back window here and watch me do it. Okay, so it's loose. Now I got to use just an oil catch can here, or oil pan here, so the diesel doesn't spray out everywhere. And it's inevitable you'll get a little bit in there, but you just quickly move it into the pan. It won't hurt anything. Now I'm going to let it drain just a little bit.
Don't have as big a mess.
There we go. You can see that barely any came out. There's a little bit that got on the seat there, and I can just wipe that off.
A piece of plastic over the seat to begin with, you don't have to worry about
it. That's Chris talking in the background. He's one of the mechanics at Woods and Barkley. All right, so let's take a look at this fuel sender. It's super clean, and I bet what happened with this one, somebody probably tried a repair on this to clean it, and they broke the little wire for the reserve light. So we'll just leave that one right here in the pan, and I'll take it apart and probably repair it and use it in another project. But for this car, we're going to put in a brand new from the dealer. Okay, I'm just going to slip this one back in there. Oh, sorry, and I also got a new sealing ring, a new O-ring that goes underneath it. So let me get that. There you go. There's our fuel sender sealing ring. Looks like there's a part number on there. And I got these from FCP Euro. Good company. All right, so easy enough, guys. We just slide the new gasket right around there. That's it. Let's put this in the car. Okay, let's go look at our gauge and see if our light is off now, which it should be. Okay, we have a new sender in there, and there we go. See how the reserve light is now off, and it will only come on when we get down to the reserve level. So that is now fixed, and that's a correctly working fuel sender. All right, guys, earlier when I was troubleshooting the vacuum system, of course, I removed all the door panels around the car to make sure all of the actuators, let's see if I can find one in here for you. Oh, I'm sorry, there's not one on that door because that's the driver. Here we go. So if we look behind here, there you go. There's the actuators. And I was just inspecting them. Those are the vacuum actuators that raise and lower the door locks. So I took all the door panels off to first inspect all these and make sure the vacuum lines were hooked up correctly, and they were. But also, since the door panels are off, a perfect opportunity to lubricate all the window tracks. All right, so that's Chris over in the background. Chris does paint and body, and he's working on a 4Runner over here.
That wasn't nice.
Since the door panels are off when I was doing the vacuum system, it's a perfect opportunity to grease all the window tracks. And I get down here with some like graphite grease, or you can use wheel bearing grease, but you get down here with a brush and see how I've greased, see all the black grease on there? So see how the slider moves back and forth into that? So since all the door panels are off, I've gone ahead and done that on all of the windows, and that ensures very smooth operation. Okay, just doing an inspection of the engine up here. I've noticed someone replaced all of the, there we go. See the diesel fuel return lines? They've all been replaced, but someone used the wrong line. It looks like they literally used a fuel hose that you can just pick up from, see there's another one here, there's the return back from the injector one back to the fuel filter. But they literally used like a fuel hose, and that's not correct. So we're going to go ahead and put on the original Mercedes cloth braided from the dealership correct return line here. And to get these off, I've actually never seen this kind used before. We'll just grab some pliers here and yep, just simply pull it off of there. There you go. That's definitely not the, I mean, it worked. There was no leaking, but that's just not the right stuff. Here is the correct hose from the Mercedes dealership. You can see it's got a cloth braiding with a rubber hose in the middle. So we're going to cut these to length and put those onto the engine. But first I need to remove all of these guys. There we go. That one was actually an aftermarket hose. These suck. They don't last very long, but at least they were trying to put the correct ones on there. So we'll go ahead and fix that now. All right, we're going to start with the center one here, because this is the only one that has a special routing. But if you actually look right underneath here, there's a clip right there. And this one actually routes underneath the linkage. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one hand. Anyway, it routes underneath there and underneath here and comes up to this injector here. But then the excess clips right into there. That little clip holds it, and that way it's not in the way of the linkage. So let's go ahead and get that on there. There we go. And they're a little tricky to get on there because they're so tight, but you got to push them all the way down. There we go. And then this one actually comes down. There you go. There you go. You see how it routes from the back nozzle down around right through our clip right there, and then up and attaches right there. And then the next one we'll put on goes from that nozzle there to that nozzle. These are easy. The rest of them are really straightforward. And then you have a final one that runs around, and there's a clip right there that it runs through and comes back up to the fuel filter housing. Okay guys, you notice you buy this stuff by the meter from Mercedes. See, I've got this one attached to the next place we're going to go. And the way you cut it is with a razor blade. Now you don't saw through it. Let me show you. Basically you measure out, you get your distance. Alright, we're going to be right there. So what you can do, I'm just going to press down on the throttle linkage. Basically make a little slit, but then you just press straight down. There you go, and it slices straight down through it. You don't saw back and forth. Just make a slight slit and you press down, and it gives you a nice clean cut. That way it won't leak around it. And we'll just put this one on. You want it to go all the way down and bottom out at the bottom of the injector. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and do our next one. Now it's okay if you need to pop off some linkage in order to get access. You know, you can pop these off and move the linkage away. These are just little ball sockets. I think we got it without removing them though. All right, good, we got that one on there. And, all right, we'll take our measurement, see how long we need to cut it. Something like that. Make a little slit and then just press straight down. And you just press it down on there. All the way down. There we go. And now we need one that runs from here back to our return. You want it to run through. Now on these nice low mileage cars, you still have all the clips like this. On some of your high mileage vehicles, these are probably broken off. But you want to run through that clip right there. And go ahead and attach it at the injector, and then we'll cut it at the fuel return line right here. Fuel filter housing. There we go. All right, see that clip? See how it keeps it out tucked out of the way? We'll just do something about like that right there. Banjo bolt to press down on. So make a little slit and then you just press straight down. You don't saw through it. Here we go. There we go. So that is the correct, there you go. There's all the correct diesel return lines. That's what it should look like. Now, keep in mind, I still need to remove all the linkage, lubricate the linkage, clean up the valve cover, do a valve adjustment. You guys are seeing the engine as I got the car. I haven't detailed anything. I'm just starting the service on it now. But you're going to see all that in future videos. All right, this is about all we can do on this car today until I get it back to the shop so I can start changing all the fluids and rebuild the front suspension. And Chris is going to do a little paint work on it, and should get it back to the shop next week. And I'm going to go ahead and start ordering front suspension parts. So see you next time.